What's up, everybody? It's me again, and we are back in the studio. Let me adjust this right quick. Get a little... Sorry about my breathing into the mic, but it is what it is. Okay, this is the second episode of What's Up, Jackson County. Forgive me, I'm having a little trouble remembering the names of all this stuff. I've got What's Up World, I've got Appalachian Table Tales, and now I've got What's Up Jackson County to do. So it's a lot to remember. If it wasn't, as bad as I hate to say it, if it wasn't for this thing right here and these books, there would be no way for me to keep up with this. So, let me know, by the way, what you think of this new camera angle. This is just one of the angles. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank here. Normally, if there's a person sitting to my left, this will be a wide angle view to where you'll see both of us. I'm not going to have an angle where it's just fixated on me, unless it's only me on this side of the table. So, sorry, but you'll have to deal with looking at me for most of these What's Up Jackson County episodes, because they'll be primarily solo episodes. And just so you know, get some type of idea how finicky this system is, I just recorded this episode that lasted 50 minutes and some change, and I went to play it back, and there was no audio. There was video, but no audio. So 50 minutes of work, me sitting here telling you what I'm going to tell you again, I had to scrap it. So that really sucked. Yeah. Anyway, before I get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, I just want to go over a few things real quick. This will be a quick episode, but I do want to say thank you to every one of you for supporting this podcast and listening or watching the podcast, either the audio episodes or the video episodes. The audio only episodes is slowly becoming the secondary type of platform or content or mode of bringing information to you, because obviously people prefer video, and I don't blame them. But thank you to everybody in any way, shape, or form that you interact with this podcast, either on Facebook, listening or watching the podcast, obviously, interacting with the show notes on the podcast. And that's something that I want to touch on real quick. Every episode of this podcast, whether it be What's Up World, What's Up Jackson County, or Appalachian Table Tales, there is a description below the show, the logo, or whatever, however it shows up on the platform, of information related to the episode. So if you ever need to know anything about what's going on before you listen or watch, you can read the show notes. Most episodes, I have a question or a poll, or one or the other, or both, that you can participate in. I would appreciate it if you did participate in those. It does help the algorithm and my analytics as far as getting the podcast out there to more and more people. And as always, the most important thing that helps the podcast is sharing the podcast directly from the platform you listen or watch on, or on Facebook or whatever. Another thing I want to mention real quick is the sponsors of the podcast. I will be playing the sponsorships ads that I've made throughout this episode. Without them, none of this would be going on right now. The sponsors of this podcast is everything. And I really, I hope my sponsors know that I really take it seriously, their sponsorship. I stress a lot about giving them their money's worth because I know times are tough, and it's not like it's very expensive, but every dollar counts nowadays. So your money does not go to me. I don't spend sponsorship money on anything outside of this studio. I just don't. I save it until I need something for this studio. It doesn't go to anything else. And you can ask my wife. I don't spend it on anything other than this studio. It's not for me. It's for this to make it better and everything like that. So thank you to all the sponsors of the podcast. You are immensely, greatly appreciated. And you'll see me glance up here because I'm watching my levels and stuff like that and making sure that the audio is coming through this time because, God, it sucks to sit here and record for 50 minutes and some change and then play it back and then there's no audio. That really sucked a big one. So, so let's get right into it. Like I said during a live stream, I think I did a live stream a week ago or so. Not every one of these episodes is going to be all sunshine and rainbows. You know, last week's episode we had Shane Gabbard, the judge executive, here. We had Tim Truitt, the Kentucky State Rep, here. And we had Eric Hubbard, the director, CEO of Backroads of Appalachia, here. That was a very good episode, and so far it's been really, really well received by everybody. It's got a lot of plays. And I just want to take a quick second to kind of put some emphasis on the fact that those gentlemen came to the What's Up World studio. That was actually quite a big deal, you know, for them to have enough trust in me to come here and talk about that, because whether you know it or not, that's on record now forever. Little shout out to the Sandlot there. If you've seen the Sandlot, you'll know what I'm talking about. But that was a big deal for them gentlemen to come to the studio and talk about the sports complex. If you haven't watched that episode, please go watch that episode because it was really good and informative, and a lot of good information was provided in that conversation. And so I appreciate every one of those guys, Shane Gabbard, Tim Truitt, Eric Hubbard, for coming. You're welcome back anytime. And I told them anytime that they've got something that they want to talk about and get out to the masses of Jackson County, because I'll just tell you something. I haven't, just from living here and looking at my analytics, there is more people listens to this podcast in the county than there are people that reads the newspaper. So, there you go. If you want something done, that's not a brag, it's just a fact. In my opinion, I believe there's more people listens to this than there are that reads the paper. So, according to the information that I have. So, thank you to those guys for putting your faith and trust in me to bring your message across in a professional manner. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is not sunshine and rainbows type of conversation. There is a business in McKee, right downtown McKee, across from the old IGA, that is apparently under new ownership. Liquor World Express is what I'm talking about. And directly adjacent to Liquor World Express is two other businesses owned by a husband and wife. Harrison's Barbershop and the Flower and Gift Store. They're directly attached to that. Now, the new owner of Liquor World Express, he owns those buildings too. And for BJ and his wife to conduct their business in those buildings, they have to pay, rent, a lease agreement, or what have you, whatever it is. They paid a lot of money each month for those buildings, and I'm pretty sure it's two separate. It's not like, let's say the rent's $500 a month each. It's not that. It's more than that each. But let's say it's $500 a month. It's not $250 and $250. It's $500 and $500, $1,000. It's more than that. But for argument's sake, let's just say that. And I've got some notes here that I was given by a reputable source that has direct contact with people. Just say that. And I'm going to read you some notes that I was given. Now, I'm going to read this in the fourth person, but it's not from this person, if you catch my drift. First of all, let me say that BJ and his wife has been in these buildings for 9+ years. 9 years and some change. BJ and his wife are outstanding people. They provide a service to this county and have provided a service for this county for those amount of years. Unwavering service, And it's, if you know anything about real estate, you will know that those are prime real estate properties to have a business in. I would say that everybody in this county passes by those buildings at least once, twice a week. So, like I say, if you know anything about property, those are prime places to have a business. So, it was told, that's where I get my boy's haircut at, is Harrison's Barbershop there. I don't get my haircut there because I shave my head, and I've always heard barbers hate people with bald heads. But because they don't make no money off of them, but it's whatever. I do take my boys there to get their haircut, and he does a fantastic job. He's got good prices, and you're in and out of there in 10 minutes with 2 kids. And I've been going there for a while. And 2-3 weeks ago, however long it was, we went in there, and one of my boys jumped up in the chair, and he started cutting his hair, and he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I'm letting everybody know that I'm moving locations. And I immediately thought, cool, that's awesome, man. You're expanding. You're moving to probably a bigger building because you can't, this building may not hold the amount of people waiting in line to get a haircut because I know he is busy. And I know his wife's business is always busy too. There's always people parked for, to do business in both of these places. So I thought, hey, he's doing great. He's having to move to a bigger place, he and his wife. Well, that wasn't the case. And he told me a little bit about what was going on, that the Liquor World Express was under new ownership. And let me read you these notes. Now, this is from a fourth party. This is not from BJ, but this is what I have found out in my research. They bought our building at the end of November. The new owner introduced himself to my wife while I was not there on Monday, December 11th, 2023, by letting her know that he was tripling our rent and was requiring us to pay a lease stating that we would be responsible for anything that tore up on our end of the building. Roof, HVAC, flooring, maintenance, any kind of maintenance that was required of the building, they would be responsible for incurring the cost of it. He then told her she was a liar. Now, all you men out there that are like me, that are insanely crazy in love, overwhelmed with your women, your wives, girlfriends, you know that right there is them's fighting words. Okay? We all know that. He then told her she was a liar because she told him how much we had always paid in rent for the last 9 years. She was in tears and hysterical. He then came back to talk to me and let me know she was a liar and that she misunderstood him, that he wasn't changing anything because it was hurting his business. So the dude's already trying to backtrack. He realizes that he messed up, that he was an idiot for doing this, because everybody knows in this small town, word travels fast. He wasn't changing anything because it was hurting his business. That lasted 1 month. He came back in January and said we had till February 1st to adjust to the changes. I told him we would have to move, and he said that was fine. It was my decision. He also told BJ and his wife that he was raising the rent to pay his mortgage. So let's just say that the rent is $1,000 a month. Triple that, $3,000 a month. If you've got a mortgage that's $3,000 a month, you either have got a percentage rate based on your crappy credit score, or you just got too big a house. And I ain't got nothing against people with huge homes and stuff like that. Whatever, God bless you. But when you use that, if that's the case, if you use that as an excuse to kick two people out of their businesses, that's pretty shitty. I feel like, that's pretty bad way to do anybody. And I'm a big believer in karma, and that'll come back and bite this dude in the hind end. It already has. It's already biting him in the hind end from everything that I've been told and everything. But it's a pretty bad situation. It's pretty shows a lot about a man's character when he does somebody like this just for no reason. I know BJ and his wife, and I know that these people would have worked with this guy to make it a better situation than what it's turned out to be. Excuse me. BJ and his wife are far better people than I am, because all you men out there, like I said, picture some man walking up in your woman's face, pointing their finger in their face and making her cry. What would you do? I know what I'd do. He'd be picking his teeth up off the floor. Every single one of them would be knocked out of his face. You can't go through this life and point your finger in my wife's face and talk to her in any sort of way other than kind and respectful. You will get your teeth knocked out. And I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just saying any man that's got a set will tell you the same thing. You can't talk to a man's woman that way. You can't talk to mine that way. I dare anybody to talk to my wife that way. But, BJ and his wife are just far better people than I am. And I told him that. I was like, hey, you better man than I am. I couldn't deal with that. But, I'm not on BJ and his wife's level. I just ain't. It takes a bigger man to do what he's done than it would have to do what I would have done. So he's tripling their rent, I'm guessing, per building, and tripling their deposit. Excuse me. I'm still sick, people. Forgive me. And making them responsible for any and all repairs that happen to that building. If that guy would have needed this building to store dirty socks in, that would have been more believable, if he'd have come and said, hey, I've got a lot of dirty socks, and I ain't got nowhere to put them. Can we come to some sort of agreement, whether it be me buying you out of your lease, or BJ buying his way out of the lease, or them just severing the contract, the rental agreement or whatever, I know BJ and his wife would have worked with this guy to handle this in a more civil and a more manly manner, to where there wouldn't be no hard feelings. Because BJ has told me himself that he's had to go buy another building to have his business in, and it's not like he can just move a building wherever it's going to be and open up shop. He told me that there's a big, long, drawn out process that you got to go through. I'm not sure of the organization or whatever it is, but it's something to do with the National Barbers Association, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure I am. That has got to come in and inspect this new location, make sure it's up to snuff with everything, and that he can, cut hair in the way that it's meant to be. And I'm sure it's the same way for his wife's establishment too. She can't just throw stuff around, because she's got a lot of expensive things in her shop, really nice things. And again, people, these guys has been here for 9 years. And just all of a sudden, some idiot comes over there and says, "Hey, pretty much, I'm tripling your rent. Take it or leave it." And don't get me wrong, I understand that a renter, a rentee, or the owner of a building, property, what have you, it's at their discretion to decide the parameters of a lease agreement or a rental agreement and stuff like that. But I have dealt in contracts with rental properties and stuff like that, and man, I know in my rental agreement for my properties and stuff, or properties that I've written up contracts for, there's laws that me as the property owner have to abide by. Now, I haven't seen the contract or the lease agreement or whatever for these two guys, these two businesses, but in most situations, there's some type of clause in there to where there has to be a specific set of events that would cause the property owner to raise the rent. To my knowledge, you can't just do that on a whim. The renter agrees to a certain amount for a certain amount of time. There has to be, to my knowledge, I could be wrong. I'm not, I don't know everything by far, but there has to be some sort of breach of agreement or something like that by the renter that would cause the property owner to incur some escalated type of cost toward the building. Now, if you've been in either one of these buildings, you'll know that they're very nice buildings. BJ's got a very nice barber shop. His wife's got a very nice shop. I don't see anything wrong with them, or that either one of them needs that would cause the property owner to incur any type of extra cost that would warrant tripling the price and the deposit. That's, if it's $1,000, tripling the rent and the deposit, $6,000, folks, per building. So, unfortunately, BJ and his wife is moving their locations. I don't know where. He told me where he was thinking about moving it, but I'm not going to say, because I don't know. I don't want to say nothing that ain't right. But it's a pretty bad way of doing business with anybody. Like I said, the guy could have come at them a different way, and I know BJ and his wife, being the people they are, they would have understood. They would have hated it. Obviously, nobody wants to move from a piece of real estate like that, but they would have understood, and they would have worked with each other to make it, to make the severing of the agreement civil, and everybody could have parted ways peacefully without any hard feelings. But it didn't happen that way, because this guy obviously don't know how to conduct himself around females, and he don't know how to conduct himself when dealing in business. So, There's a name for people like that in my world, and you're a punk. And the word spread a whole lot in the county about how he's done these folks, because a lot of people do like these people. They're prominent figures in the community. They provide a service to the community. People think a lot of these folks, and to my knowledge, nobody knows even for sure what this guy's name is. It's Mickey, Mighty Mouse, Minnie Mouse, or something like that. It might be Mike, whatever. I don't know what his name is. Don't really care. I ain't interested in knowing what his name is. All I know is that he don't know how to conduct himself. So it's a pretty bad way of doing things. So and I'm gonna bring something up here, and the only reason I bring this up is to bring up another subject. It's no secret in this county that almost every gas station there is in this county is being purchased by people that isn't from here. They're not from here. They're a different nationality and stuff, and these people are historically known to own and run and operate gas stations and smoke shops and liquor stores, things of that nature. So much so that in our town, to my knowledge, now I could be wrong again, there's only one gas station convenience store in this county that is not owned by these people, and that is Anvil Town and Country Market. And big shout out to Anvil Town and Country, because we had a giveaway not too long ago where the grand prize was a $100 gas card. And I contacted him over there at Town and Country, and I said, "Hey, do y'all sell gas cards? I need a $100 gas card here in a little bit coming up." And he's like, "Yeah, we sell them." And I said, "Well, when the time comes, I'll come buy it from you." So the time come, I went over there with full intention of paying $100 out of my pocket for this gas card. And I walk in, and he's sitting there, and he hands me this gas card, and he said, "Hey, I realize what you're doing. I hear the podcast, and I see that you're trying to do these good things and stuff like that." And he said, "We try to help out any way we can. This is paid for." So he paid for that $100 gas card. So thank you to everybody over there at Anvil Town and Country Market that made that possible. That was so awesome of you, and I will not forget that. But again, to go back to what I was saying, I think, to my knowledge, that's the only gas station in the county that's not owned by these people. And it's common knowledge, too, that these people, historically, have this stigma attached to them where they're very rude and condescending and off-putting to people. Not just here, everywhere. I know a lot of people, since putting a little bit of info out there about what I'm talking about today, people has messaged me and emailed me here at What's Up World podcast and told me that they've been in this Liquor World Express and they've been very rude to them. So much so that they seem like they are only interested in getting your money, not speaking to you, not talking to you, not being friendly and cordial like 99% of us are in this county. You can't go nowhere in this county and expect to walk in and walk out and not have a conversation with somebody you know, some friend that you know, or somebody that you ain't seen in a few days. That's just the way life is in this small town. That's part of the luster. That's part of the magic of living in a small town, is that, you can't go nowhere without running into somebody that you know and want to have a conversation with. So when you get people like us that go into an establishment like this and they look at you like you're just with the dollar signs in their eyes, and they have no interest in you whatsoever other than your money that you're handing across the counter. It pisses you off because we're not accustomed to that. We're not used to that. We're not used to people just not caring about each other. We're not used to people not being interested in what we've been doing that day or whatever. That's just the way life is around here. So they're just a bunch of dicks to everybody. you know, I am thankful, especially now having found all this out, that I've never stepped a foot in Liquor World Express. And if I want something to drink or a cigar, they sell cigars across the street at Island City Liquor, that's where I'll go. And I suggest everybody go to Island City Liquor and do your business. I for dadgum sure ain't going to go on Liquor World Express now. And the point of this whole conversation is just to try and get everybody to band together and back these people up and support them, in any way, shape, or form that you can. I'm recording this episode on the 22nd. I've got to get my boy's haircut tomorrow, hopefully if I have time. And I'm going to tell BJ, whenever the time comes that you need to get moved, let me know. I've got a truck and I've got a trailer, and I'll help you if I'm at all possible. I'll help you and your wife move. And everybody else ought to do the same thing. Stop in there and get your haircut. Stop in there and just say hi to them and offer your help to get them moved in as timely of a manner as possible, because put yourself in these folks' shoes, everybody. Every second that you're not cutting hair, or every second that you're not selling flowers or crafts or anything else that she sells in there, you're not making any money, but you're spending money. I don't know what type of avenue he's going to take to get moved, but if he's got to rent a truck, he's going to be out the price of renting a truck, or he's going to be out the price of hiring people to help him move, or whatever the case may be. Go down there and volunteer to help them move. Just be careful, because both of those places have a lot of expensive stuff in them. Go down there and help them. Ask them. Just say, hey, if you need any help moving, man, y'all just let me know. I'll come help you move. I'm going to tomorrow when I go down there. Now, I'm not telling nobody to do anything. Obviously, I can't, who am I to tell you what to do? But in this small community, all we have is each other when it comes to things like this. We need to stand up and band together and support us. Now, again, I'm not telling you where to shop at or anything, but man, I'd go without before I went in Liquor World Express. I really would. It's pretty sad to me that this guy handled it in that way. It was just a cowardice way of doing things. But again, that's kind of the stigma that goes along with these people. They're not the friendliest of folks. And they may look at us like we're crazy because we are so friendly and so personable with each other and so quick to stop and have a conversation with each other. They may think that's weird. And, I can't hate on that. But when you move into a community and you set up shop in a community to provide a service to the community, I feel like you need to adjust your feelings. You need to adjust your attitude, because you obviously have a business that you want to thrive and survive in this community, so you might want to rethink your piss poor attitude. Especially when it comes to a community like what we have here, where people are so close and so nice and so personable, like I said, and so quick to help each other out. I just want that to fall into this. The fact that we are so willing and able and ready to help each other out take that same momentum and that same drive to help out BJ and his wife in this transitional phase that they're going through, you know, because it's a bad situation all the way around. I know it pisses me off to think that man handled it this way, you know, and he might be a nice guy when you're talking to him on the street, but when it comes to business, he ain't got a clue, don't seem like. And there's been a couple other people message me saying that he has come up to them, telling them to shut their mouth. That the news that y'all are spreading about how I'm doing these people is hurting my business. And you know what? I drive by that store five days a week to pick my boys up from school, and I have seen a more empty parking lot. I have noticed that because I make a point to notice every day what the traffic is like at that establishment. And it's went down. And you know what? Oh, well, big guy. Reap what you sow. Karma's a real thing. You can't go through life pissing on everybody and expect them not to stand up and knock your brains out. Especially here in Jackson County. So, yeah. Reap what you sow. You get what you ask for. If your business goes under, you have nobody else to blame but yourself. You know, you need to take some classes on etiquette, not etiquette, but just being a decent human being and learning how to deal with the public. So, yeah, it's a pretty bad situation, but I know that BJ and his wife will succeed in wherever their new location is, because I know I'm going to go keep right on going to him, no matter where he goes. So, yeah, that's it. Like again, I'm not telling you where to do your business at, but if you're anything like me, and I feel a lot of you are, I wouldn't do business there. I'd take it across the street. And I'm not advocating or promoting Island City Liquor, but those two places are your options. And it sounds to me like Island City Liquor is the better of the two. And those people are super nice in there, very helpful, you know. 9 times out of 10, I go in there and I see what kind of cigars they got. Every now and then, they've got a cigar in there that I haven't tried, and I'll buy 2 or 3 of them or whatever. And they're super nice people. I'm a lot of people in this county know me, just like everybody else in this county knows everybody. I'm not a very hard person to find. I kind of am whatever you want to call it, a fairly well-known person in the county. You know, not just for the podcast, but just for other things that I've been involved in the county. You know, I drive a big lifted silver GMC truck. It's got a What's Up World decal in the back window. If you see me out somewhere, I'm talking to the owner of Liquor World Express, if you see me out somewhere, come over and tell me to be quiet. Come over and stick your finger in my face and tell me to shut up and call me a liar. See what happens. Because I'm not making threats or promises or anything like that, but I'm not as good a person as BJ is. I'll just say that. And I'll be at the barbershop tomorrow, which this will be after, you know, I get that, whatever. But I'm not a hard person to find. And just come over and tell me to hush. See what type of conversation we can have. But about it. Yeah. That's just, yeah. I can't, I'm getting a little worked up, so I better calm down. This Jackson, What's Up, I'm still having trouble remembering the name of this series. What's Up World, and What's Up Jackson County are two things, and the Appalachian Table Tales, of course, is something that I'm very proud of. I take this very seriously. It should be pretty obvious how serious I take this. I've put a lot of time and effort into this, and the sponsors, of course, has helped tremendously in making this podcast possible. And as far as What's Up Jackson County goes, it'll be primarily just me talking in the studio by myself looking at this camera. For the simple reason that I don't want anybody else to be held responsible or to garner any hate towards anything that I say or they may say on this podcast about whatever is going on in this county, because What's Up Jackson County will be 99% of things that goes on in the county. There may be something concerning an adjacent or adjoining county, London or Brea, something like that every now and then, but mostly Jackson County. And some episodes will be good, uplifting, informative type of conversations like what we had with the three gentlemen that was here last week. And some of them may be like this. If you do contact me about something that you want to have on the show or have me talk about on the show, please make sure that it's the truth. Because I know for a fact, and everybody else knows too, that Jackson County is horrible for rumors. It really is. And unfortunately, I've been a part of spreading false rumors before because I didn't do my due diligence and find out the truth before. But that's very rare that I do that, because I have learned my lesson in the past not to take everybody's word for it. So if you email me at whatsupworld01@yahoo.com with a story, or if you message me on Facebook with a story, please make sure that it's factual and true and legitimate, because I'm going to tell you, hey, no hard feelings. I don't mean any disrespect, but I'm going to do my research to make sure what you're telling me is the truth, because the last thing I'm going to do is get on here and tell a lie about anything. And if I can't find out the truth, I'm not going to talk about it at all. Even if it's something that I really want to get out there to everybody and talk about and tell them, if I can't get the truth about it, I'm just not going to talk about it. Because I'd rather not talk about it than tell a bunch of lies. Because if there's one thing that I have said since day one of starting this podcast, it's that this is going to be 100% the truth. I don't make stuff up. I don't embellish. I don't exaggerate on this podcast about anything at all. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to lie about. I have no reason to want to embellish anything, and I will never sell out for plays or views or anything like that. I won't try to make something that it's not for the sake of plays or views or analytics or anything like that, because I believe the truth is more interesting than anything. This community is a very awesome community, and it's got a lot of awesome people in it. And when you have such great people in a community like this, there is no use for lies or embellishments or making up false stories about anything. Just the way you are is interesting enough to be a part of this podcast. And I'm sorry that I'm sniffling and sniffing and snotting in this radio, or this mic, but I've been sick for over a month. I believe I'm on the back end of it. I just got over pneumonia and bronchitis, and I was well for about a week and got sick again, and here I am. So it sucks. My back's hurting. I got to work tonight. But yeah. So just don't take don't take anything I say to heart or that I'm trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but I will not talk about something on here if I can't find out the truth about it. And, I will tell you, hey, I'm going to look into this a little more before I talk about it, just to make sure I've got all my T's crossed and I's dotted and everything. So don't take offense to it. And if you do, I'm just not going to talk about it. If you can't understand wanting to tell the truth, then it's probably lies. So, and that's all I got. Like I said, I recorded this just a few minutes ago, and it was about 50 minutes long, and I played it back, and there was no audio. And we're at 45 minutes and 37 seconds right now, so I believe I covered just about everything that I said the first time I recorded it. And thank you to everybody for listening, watching. Thank you to the sponsors. Also, I do want to mention real quick that I don't like talking about this, but I do have merchandise that you can buy. I have hats, I have shirts, I have coffee mugs, I have tumblers. I did have hoodies and stuff like that, but it's about to be summertime, so I'm going to discontinue the hoodies and shirts and stuff. I have stickers, window stickers. You can stick them anywhere you want to, on your car, on your door, whatever. So if anybody ever wants anything like that, you can email me or message me on Facebook, and I'll get on that. The hats that I get from Bluegrass Branding, local business here in the county, and they are awesome hats. Normally I would have on a What's Up World hat because they are so comfortable, but they're all upstairs, and I was down here and didn't feel like running upstairs and getting one. There was something else real quick. What was it? I can't remember. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this or not before, but this is a new camera angle here. I've done a lot of work on the studio in the last couple of days to get these cameras in a better angle for you all. Normally, this is not, on What's Up Jackson County, this will probably normally be the view that you have. Sorry to say for you, but you'll have to look at me for the entirety of these episodes, or this series rather. But if I have somebody on here, it'll be normally a wide angle view if there's somebody sitting next to me, and so on and so forth. But for the sake of ranting and rambling and going on and on and on about a whole lot of stuff you don't care about, if you want to sponsor the podcast, I would love to have you as a sponsor. It's very affordable. I'm trying to make it more affordable, and I'm trying to make the sponsorships last longer. I do make a custom ad with your logo that I play during the episodes, and each one of those ads takes me around 3 or 4 hours to make with the software that I use and stuff. So if you want to sponsor the podcast, email me. The email is whatsupworld01@yahoo.com, all lowercase, or you can message me on Facebook. The ads are very good and very nice. I'm very proud of them, and I'm going to play them for you now. These are the current sponsors of the What's Up World podcast.
Hey guys, my name's Lucas, and I want to tell you about Awesome Like Anderson. Awesome Like Anderson is a non-profit with a mission of providing sensory items to kids with autism spectrum disorder and other special needs. Please join the Awesome Like Anderson Facebook page and help us show these kids just how awesome they really are.
Introducing Dee's Grilled Salsa. With 4 delicious flavors like habanero, Carolina Reaper, pineapple, and original, you're guaranteed to find a favorite. Follow us on Facebook at Dee's Grilled Salsa to order.
Ben's $5 Bling is an independent consultant of Paparazzi Jewelry. Come join us on our Facebook Live events to see all the latest styles we have to offer. We have jewelry for all occasions, from weddings, proms, casual dress, and everyday wear, no matter your style. Ben's $5 Bling is the place to be.
And that's it, folks. Those are the sponsors of the podcast. And if you want to sponsor the podcast, let me know and we'll get you set up. Until next time, folks, thank you for watching and tuning in, and y'all have a blessed day. Thank you.